It's past midnight when a millionaire returns home, only to find his teenage son secretly with the maid. What he sees leaves him stunned, and what they're hiding will break his heart in ways he never expected. But before we get to that moment, let's go back to how it all began. After 6 long months away on business, Richard Dalton, one of the wealthiest men in the state, finally returns to his lavish mansion in upstate New York. But what he expects to be a joyful homecoming turns into a night that will haunt him forever. The black town car rolls up to the circular driveway. The mansion lights glow against the evening sky. Richard, dressed in his usual custom suit, steps out with a look of pride. To the world, he's a man who has it all: money, power, respect. But inside, there's one thing he has failed at miserably: being a father. His only son, Ethan, is just 16. And though he loves his boy, Richard has always believed the best way to raise him was to provide luxuries, private schools, sports cars, the latest gadgets. What he never provided was himself. Richard pushes open the heavy front door, expecting to be greeted by staff or maybe even Ethan. Instead, silence greets him. The marble floor echoes his footsteps. He sets down his suitcase, annoyed. "Where is everybody?" he mutters. The butler emerges, nervous. "Welcome home, sir. The young master is upstairs." Richard nods, masking his disappointment. He wanted Ethan to be the first face he saw. Instead, his son doesn't even know or doesn't care that his father has returned. Later that night, after a lonely dinner, Richard wanders the hallways of the massive home. He hasn't seen Ethan all evening. He checks his phone, debating whether to just go to bed. But then, something catches his attention. A faint glow of light seeps from under Ethan's door. It's well past midnight. Curious, Richard moves closer. He hears faint voices, hushed whispers, and laughter. He frowns. Who would his son be talking to at this hour? He gently pushes the door open, just enough to peek inside, and what he sees leaves him frozen in shock. Ethan is sitting at his desk, a pile of books scattered around, and next to him, leaning close, is Maria, the young maid Richard hired only a year ago. She's holding a pencil, pointing at equations on the page, while Ethan nods eagerly. Richard's jaw tightens. To him, it looks like betrayal. His son, bonding with the maid, laughing with her in a way he never laughs with his own father. Richard can't believe his eyes. Why would his son be up in the middle of the night with the maid? And what exactly are they hiding from him? Richard's heart pounds as he grips the doorframe. He feels anger, confusion, even jealousy. His son, his only son, looks happier with the maid than he ever did with him. He swings the door open, startling them both. "What's going on here?" Richard's voice thunders. Ethan jumps to his feet, his face pale. "Dad, I didn't know you were back." Maria lowers her head respectfully. "Good evening, sir. We were just what." Richard cuts her off. "You think I'd believe this? My son with the maid at midnight." Ethan clenches his fists. "It's not what you think." "Then explain it," Richard demands. Silence fills the room. Ethan glances at Maria as if asking for courage. Finally, he blurts out, "She's been helping me. I've been failing math, Dad, and she's been tutoring me." Richard's eyes widen in disbelief. "Tutoring you? You'd rather learn from her, a maid, than the tutors, the professionals I pay thousands for." Maria's voice trembles. "Sir, please. Ethan asked me not to tell you." He was embarrassed. He just needed someone who believed in him. Richard's face reddens. "Believed in him? That's not your job. You're the maid. You clean. You cook. You don't raise my son." Ethan's voice cracks. "Maybe if you were here, I wouldn't need her rounds." The words hit Richard like a knife. For the first time in years, his son has spoken back to him. And worse, he's right. Richard is so stunned he can't even reply. He storms out, slamming the door, leaving Ethan and Maria shaken. Richard thinks, hey, he knows the truth, but he has no idea the secret runs much deeper than late-night tutoring. And what he's about to uncover will break his heart even more. The next morning, Richard sits in his study, restless. He replays his son's words, "Maybe if you were here, I wouldn't need her." His pride screams to fire Maria immediately, but something holds him back. Could there be more to the story? At breakfast, Ethan finally comes downstairs. His eyes are tired, his shoulders slumped. Richard tries to stay calm. "Ethan," he says firmly, "sit down. We need to talk." Ethan avoids his gaze. "If you're gonna fire Maria, just do it. Don't make her suffer for helping me." Richard softens. "I just want to understand. Why didn't you come to me if you were struggling?" Ethan lets out a bitter laugh. because you wouldn't care. You're never here. You're always too busy with your businesses, your money, your world. When was the last time we even ate dinner together? When was the last time you asked me how school was going? Richard has no answer. Ethan's eyes glisten. Maria, she listens. She doesn't judge me. She tells me I'm not stupid, that I just learn differently. She stays up late even when she's tired from working all day. She believes in me more than my own father does. The words slice through Richard's chest. All his life, he thought providing money was enough. But in that moment, he realizes his son doesn't want riches. He just wants him. Richard begins to see Maria in a different light. But what he doesn't know yet is that Maria has been hiding a secret of her own, a truth that once revealed will change everything. Later that evening, Richard finds Maria in the kitchen, quietly washing dishes. For the first time, he doesn't see her as just an employee. He sees her as a person. Maria, he says gently, "Why are you doing this? Why go out of your way for Ethan when you don't have to?" Maria hesitates. Her hands tremble. Finally, she whispers, "Because I know what it's like to feel invisible." Richard frowns. "My father, he was just like you, always gone, always busy. I struggled in school, but he never noticed. I had no one to help me, no one to believe in me. I dropped out because I couldn't keep up. I promised myself that if I ever saw someone going through what I went through, I'd never let them feel alone the way I did." Tears fill her eyes. "Ethan reminds me of myself. I couldn't stand by and watch him drown when I knew I could help." Richard's chest tightens. For the first time, he feels shame, not for Maria, but for himself. She has given his son what he never did: presence, patience, and love. Richard is shaken to his core, but now he must decide. Will he cling to his pride or humble himself to repair the bond with his son before it's too late? The next day, Richard knocks on Ethan's door. This time, his voice is soft. "Ethan, can I come in?" Ethan shrugs. "Whatever." Richard steps inside. He sees the books still scattered across the desk. Slowly, he sits down across from his son. "I owe you an apology," Richard begins. "I thought being a good father meant giving you everything money could buy. But I see now I failed you. I wasn't there when you needed me most." Ethan looks away, fighting back tears. Richard continues, his voice breaking. "I want to change. I want to be part of your life, not just the man who signs the checks. So if you'll let me, maybe you can teach me some of that math Maria's been helping you with." Ethan finally meets his father's eyes. For the first time in years, there's a flicker of hope. "You really mean that," Richard nods. "More than anything." Over the weeks that follow, Richard keeps his word. He joins their study sessions. He asks about Ethan's day. He even sets aside business trips to spend weekends with his son. And Maria, she's no longer just the maid. Richard funds her return to school, giving her the chance to pursue the education she was denied. She becomes part of the family, respected and cherished. Moral of this story: Richard learned the hard way that success means nothing if you lose the people who matter most. Sometimes, the ones we overlook are the ones who hold the key to our greatest blessings. Money may build a house, but only love can build a home. Have you ever felt overlooked by someone who should have cared? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this tale touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message today.